Greetings, this is Dinah Monahan.
And Damon Evans bringing you Pro-Life Perspectives. This program is about all things pro-life. It's sponsored by White Mountain Tees and Snowflake. White Mountain Tees provides screen printing, embroidery, banner printing, merchandise with your logo on it, and much more for the White Mountain community. Whether it's 25 t-shirts for your family reunion or 5,000 for your big event, they can do it. Businesses can have a professional look with embroidered logos on jackets, hats, and other apparel.
And Damon, they deliver. Yep, they deliver your order right to your door. From Payson to Winslow, Pinetop to Springerville. They bring it right to you.
Go to whitemountaintees.com. That's whitemountaintees.com, or stop by their shop in Snowflake. Dinah, last week we left off in the middle of discussing Margaret Sanger, who we are calling the Angel of Death, and it was shocking. If our listeners haven't heard the first episode, be sure to go to Dinah's YouTube channel and listen to that one.
Let's see, we left off with Sanger advocating infant murder as a merciful solution to large families. But wait! There's more. In our culture, people and organizations that help the poor, the hurting, and the oppressed are held up as noble and good. But our Margaret Sanger has a different view. Basically, Mother Teresa was a threat to civilization. In her book, The Pivot of Civilization, page 108, she wrote, quote, "Organized charity is the symptom of a malignant social disease. Those vast, complex, interrelated organizations aiming to control and diminish the spread of misery and destitution and all the menacing evils that spring out of this sinisterly fertile soil are the surest sign that our civilization has bred, is breeding, and is perpetuating constantly increasing numbers of defectives, delinquents, and dependents." That's a mouthful.
Yes.
My criticism, therefore, is not directed at the failure of philanthropy, but rather at its success. These dangers inherent in the very idea of humanitarianism and altruism, dangers which have today produced their full harvest in human waste.
Has Planned Parenthood ever repudiated that or renounced her?
Nope, they haven't. In fact, Planned Parenthood gives an award every year called the Margaret Sanger Award. Some of the past recipients are...
This should be good.
Yeah. Who?
Yeah, right.
Well, you'll be surprised to hear that Nancy Pelosi was in there, Jane Fonda, Faye Waddleton, Bella Abzug, Lyndon B. Johnson. And there is only one black person on the list of recipients. I was actually really shocked. It was Martin Luther King Jr., a recipient in the early 60s.
That is crazy. Do you think I'm sure he was so honored to receive that award, but do you think he knew about her racist background?
No, I really don't, because her writings and things had been closeted in this museum and hadn't really been gone through like they have now. So I doubt it. Planned Parenthood worked very hard to hide this, but her writings have been exposed and her racist roots have been out there for years. She didn't mince any words, by the way. In the 20s and 30s, blacks tended to have large families. In the 1930s, the American Birth Control League, Sanger's organization, founded the Harlem Clinic. It was established in the poor black neighborhood of Harlem in New York with the Great Depression looming. The goal was to offer better health to the community through contraceptives. Margaret knew, however, that this community would be suspicious and unsupportive of the clinic. Therefore, she drafted a plan to allay the mistrust by hiring individuals in positions of social power within the black community. They were paid to speak about the benefits of the clinic and birth control. In a letter to Dr. Clarence Gamble, Sanger writes about how to clear up any confusion. Listen to this. "We should hire 3 or 4 colored ministers, preferably with social service backgrounds and with engaging personalities. The most successful educational approach to the Negroes is through religious appeal. We don't want word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population. The minister is the man who can straighten out that idea if it ever occurs to any of their more rebellious members."
Oh my goodness.
That was her approach back then. Eugenics, how do you control the black population? Contraceptives. Mm-hmm. contraceptives. Yeah. This letter exists today, by the way, and Planned Parenthood has gone to some stunning verbal gymnastics denying that it says what it says. In Sanger's work, an autobiography, A Fight for Birth Control, she writes about her experience at a KKK rally.
So
imagine that. Yeah. This is what she said. Always to me, any aroused group was a good group, and therefore I accepted an invitation to talk to the women's branch of the Ku Klux Klan. My address that night had to be in the most elementary terms, as though I were trying to make children understand. In the end, through simple illustrations, I believe I had accomplished my purpose. A dozen invitations to speak to similar groups were proffered. Sanger's goal was to create a race of thoroughbreds. Planned Parenthood today is the embodiment of her attitude toward children, race, marriage, sex, and life in general. The racist roots and the agenda are still obvious when you look at the abortion statistics today. 39.2% of all reported abortions in the U.S. in 2020 were performed on Black women. However, only about 12.4% of the total population is Black. For every 1,000 live births, non-Hispanic and Black women had 426 abortions. According to protectingblacklife.org, quote, a 2010 census reveals that Planned Parenthood is targeting minority neighborhoods. 79% of their surgical abortion facilities are located within walking distance of African American or Hispanic Latino neighborhoods, end quote. There is a great video on YouTube my dear friend Johnny Hunter created called MAFA 21. That's MAAFA 21. I would really recommend that you just go on YouTube and pull it up. It exposes the racist roots and the agenda of Sanger and of Planned Parenthood today.
And Dinah, I understand that her bust, Margaret Sanger's bust, is enshrined in the Smithsonian's National Portrait Gallery in Washington, D.C., in the Struggle for Justice exhibit.
Her justice sure didn't include the poor, the handicapped, or Blacks. Those she wanted, extirpated.
Extirpated. And it's confusing because she's still spoken of as a pioneer and a savior of women by the media. Yet we have her own writings that are unbelievably racist and elitist. It just makes no sense.
I know. We need to continue to expose this woman and the organization that she founded.
Well, New Hope Pregnancy Resource Centers in Show Low, Springerville, and White River is where women will find real hope and dignity as they face an unplanned pregnancy. They offer pregnancy tests, ultrasounds, parenting classes, and so much more. Parents can shop at the boutique with their boutique bucks that they earned by learning and provide everything their baby needs. It's free, confidential, and amazing. So for more information, go to newhopepc.org or visit our Sholo office at 2500 East Cooley next to the Social Security office, or just call 928-599-1986. And remember, you don't have to miss a broadcast of Pro-Life Perspectives. You can share it with others just by going to Dinah Monahan's YouTube channel. And that's going to wrap up this week's Pro-Life Perspectives. Next week, please join us again where Dinah will be blowing our minds like dynamite about the history of pro-life and the threats that we face. Until next week, be safe,
be blessed,
be kind,
and love life.